Hello. Hello.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi.
Hi, Vivek.
Yeah. Hi. Hi, Diksha.
Okay, let's start with the class. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so in the last session, we are like in between to discuss the collection framework. So we in the last session we like cover what is array, right, and what is array list, and we also discuss the list class, what is list class, and how we can uh, use the custom, or we can say the little bit complex collection. So we can, we can create our custom class like customer and address. We in the last session we created, and we save the information of customer and address in the customer list. So here is the list is basically the collection of customers, right? So we are done with this. So today we will like continue with the dictionary class. What is dictionary? Okay, so I have already prepared the some examples. I can directly start with that as well. Okay, so so dictionary class is basically dealing with the key value pairs. In the previous, like if we talk about the like the list class, list is basically we can provide a data type. It's like a generic class. Uh, Let me explain it again. So when we are dealing with list, so basically we are providing a type. So this T is basically representing list is generic class, generic kind of collection. So T can be any data type. Data type means integer, string, right? And like char, let's say, and it can be a object as well. Object as well. So object can be like object of any class, right? So T is basically here it's a represent a generic. So in the dictionary, when we are like dealing with the dictionary, so dictionary is basically dealing with the key value pair. Key value pair. Key is supposed to be unique, and value can be any. It can be a like any data type, or can be a object as well. So dictionary basically provide a feature to store only the unique data in the key, and the value can be duplicate, or value can be any type of data. So here is like we can say the declaration and initialization. So we use the dictionary class. So dictionary is basically is again coming from generic namespace. If I like remove this namespace, so we will start getting this error. That is a compile time error. Okay, so we need to use this using collection.generic namespace in our code. Okay, so here I'm like creating a student dictionary of student. ID will be the integer, and the name of student will be in the string format. So here I just added the three students with a unique ID, ID 1, 2, and 3 against with the name. So again, as we discussed, this is also dictionary also worked on indexes as well. This is kind of index 1, 2, and 3. So when we are saying student in square bracket 1, it will fetch the information of key 1. So key is 1 is basically is a key. So it will fetch the information uh, of first student with ID 1. So if we want to iterate it, we can use like this as well. So here you can see that is a simple for loop. So we are passing the object of dictionary students. So it will like iterate all the students and it will return me a key value pair. So data will be stored in a key value pair class. So ID will be again an integer and name will be a string. So it will store in the entry variable. So to fetch the entry data from the entry, we need to again use a key and value keywords. Okay. So let's say, so if we have a collection of dictionary, let's say 1, 2, and 3. So this is, let's say, student 1, student 2, and student 3. If I want to fetch, this is the key and this is the value. So this is stored in key value pair. Key value pair. If you want to fetch the information from key value pair, you need to provide a key. I mean, means to use, you need to use the key keyword, or to fetch the value, you need to use value keyword. It's a simple concept. Yeah. So here, like I'm like using the key value pair. Okay. And in the next, I'm checking the key is exist or not. So for that, we can use a contain key. There is a like a predefined method. It will return you a boolean data. So you need to pass a key. It will check the key already exists in the collection. If it exists, it will provide you the true. If not, it will like provide you the false. So this is basically to like check the keys already exist in collection or not, because key is supposed to be unique. Let's say you are trying to add a fourth element with the same key, that is 2, with a different value. When you use this, it will return you false. False means to say the key already exists. Okay. So these are like the three or four things you need to take care when you are like dealing with a dictionary. To add value, we are using the add method. If you are fetching a value, we can fetch with index or a key as well. If you want to fetch entire variable, then it will store, I mean, means to say, if you are using this student inside a for loop or for each loop, so the data will be fetch out in key value pair, and it's supposed to be handled with the key value pair class. Okay. To get that information from key value pair, there is a keyword key and value. Okay. And if you want to remove particular record from the collection, it's again we have a method, that is remove method. Again you need to pass a key. It will remove that the entry. Yeah. Okay. So this is a whole. So I just like using some if else and looping, adding some variable first in collection, displaying a particular entry against key. In this, I'm just iterating all the dictionary object collection, and then at this point I'm checking the key is already exist or not. Then I'm removing a one element, then again iterating or displaying all the element after removing one element. Okay. Okay, let me execute this. Okay, this is simple dictionary, dictionary sample. So here you can see the output. Let me open this. So a student with ID 1 is Alec. So this is the first statement. So here we have like three students, Alec, Bob, and Charlie. So we are fetching uh, the information of Alec against ID 1. Then after that, we are displaying all the student with key value pair. ID is ID and a name. Name is basically a value. So this is the output is generated from this for each loop. Then after that, we are checking the key exists or not. So it's saying student with the ID to exist, that is Bob. Okay. Or we can say every time when we are adding a new student in the dictionary object, we can verify the key is already exist or not. If not, then it will add in the student dictionary. Otherwise, it will say this IDs already exist. Okay. Then we are removing one record. That is with ID 1, we are removing the Alec from the collection. Then after collection again, we are like displaying all the records. So here you can see now we have ID 2 and 3. One is already removed from the collection. Okay. Any query in this?
No.
Okay. Okay. So this is the dictionary. This is also very important concept. So during the interview, they ask you about the question related to dictionary and the list. In the previous session, we covered it. Okay. So the next one is we have one more collection that is HashSet. So this is HashSet. So it is very similar to, we can say, we have like, not this. Yeah, we can say list. Okay. But in case of in the case of list, we can add duplicate data as well. But when we are dealing with the hash set, so hash set is basically collection of element of unique data only, not duplicate values. So this is only and this store directly data, not in key value form. Okay, this is again belongs to collection.generic namespace. Okay, so the class is HashSet. So again, this is the generic concept. We can pass any data type. So it's supposed to be, but the data is supposed to be unique when we are adding a number or any data. So here I am like creating a hash set, name it as numbers. So just adding 10, 20, 30, and again I am trying to add 20. So this is a duplicate value. So hash set don't allow us to add a duplicate value in the collection. So this is like something when you want to create a collection of unique element, then in that case you need to use hash set.
Okay.
Okay, so again, it's like repeating concept. We want to display all the element. We can use a for each loop. So the same way, so we are passing number. It will fetch element one by one till last element, and it will store first in num variable. We are displaying the num. You can do anything means a logical operation in for loop as per the requirement. So here again we have the contain method to check the element is already exist or not in the collection. If it exists, it will again return true and false. Just to make sure the element already uh, exists, then we can skip the statement, skip the adding a number in the collection. Okay, to remove the element from the collection, we can use remove. Okay, let me execute this one. So the unique feature is HashSet. In HashSet, we cannot save duplicate records, but in the previous collections classes, we can store duplicate records. Except dictionary. In dictionary, the key is supposed to be unique. Duplicate, if let's say in dictionary as well, let's say if I try to forcefully try to push a record in collection with the same ID, let's say ID1. Let's see open. Let's see what will the output. See, so there is an exception. Okay, not this one. Yeah, so here is an exception. So the exception is saying an item with the same key already been added. So we cannot add duplicate key, but we can add duplicate data. Means to say, let me change this key to 4 and let me rename, change the name to Bob. So key is unique, but Bob is, as a data, it's duplicate. So see, you can see two entry against Bob with the two students, Bob and Bob, but both having different student ID. Okay. Okay. But in case of HashSet, let me execute this. See, yeah, here you can see. So in the last example, we can see when we try to add duplicate value in the dictionary, so system is throwing an exception, right? But in case of HashSet, system is not throwing any exception. Program executes successfully. It's providing me the output. See? So here I specially write duplicate won't be added, but still I'm not having any exception in my program. But if I look into the output, see 10, 20, 30, 20 again, when I am adding 20 again, it's not added. Okay. So in HashSet system, if you try to add a duplicate value, system HashSet will not add that duplicate value, even not throw any exception in your program. It just simply ignore that entry. Okay, this entry already exists. Skip this entry. Okay. So this is the difference. So rest of the part is very again repeating part. We can say I'm just uh, you know checking all the element HashSet elements. So it is 10, 20, 30. Then I'm checking number is exist or not. 20 is already exists. So it's saying HashSet contains 20. Then removing a 10. Then after removing, I'm again repeating the displaying the HashSet items. So it is after removing 10, it is now 20 and 30 only.
Okay.
Okay, clear? Any query in HashSet?
Mm,
Okay. So HashSet is like when you fetch the information, let's say a unique information from database and you want to store, so then in that case you can use the HashSet. Want to remove the duplicate entries. You when you are dealing with the collection framework, you're supposed to be very specific what class supposed to be used in what situation. Okay. Okay, next is stack and queue. Stack and queue is again a collection. Okay, let's discuss first stack. Okay, so stack is like uh, first in, first out. Let me write here. Stack basically worked on first in, first out. Sorry,
last and
First
stack
in,
first
is
out.
last out, I
last
guess.
in,
Last in,
Oh,
last out. Yes, last in, first out. Yes, this LIFO. So let's say stacking is it's like stack of let's say books on your bookshelf. So it's like the structure is something like this, right? So if you let's say you enter A, B, C, D, and E, right? And you want to fetch the information from the stack. It will be the very first information will be E. Okay. Then D, then C, and B and A. So it's like last in. This is the last entry, and this is the outcome is like it will first. So it's last in, first out. Okay. Okay. So how we can like add element in the stack and how we can get the element from the stack. So here we have like push and pop methods. So we can use that push and pop and peek as well. So to add values, okay, the syntax is the stack class, the type of data you want to store in the stack collection, so the name, and we can simply initialize it. And this stack is also belongs to the generic collection, collection.generic namespace. To add a data inside the stack object, we use push method. So here like we push 4 books, C sharp, data structure, algo, and design patterns, right? Okay. And to get the information, I mean, to retrieve the information, we use pop. Okay.
okay.
And you need to check every time which one is the last value. So we use or last entry we can use, that is peak. Okay. So there is a catch when you are dealing with the stack. Let's say you entered 4 books, these. Okay. So this loop is basically just display you the all the information. So we pass the stack object books. It will fetch all the information one by one and it will display you on the screen. Okay, and there is a method, it's called peek. So peek is basically return you the last or the top element of the collection. Okay, let me execute this, then I can explain it better. Okay, st. Yeah. See, so when like we iterated this loop, so we entered in this sequence first C sharp, then data structure, algo, and design. But this loop is giving me output like first design pattern, then algo, then data structure, and last is program file. So whatever the last entry is, it will come first. That is last in, first out. Okay. Okay, so peak method. Peak method. Let's say you execute or call this method 10 or 20 times. Let's say imagine this peak method. It will return you. Where is the peak? Yeah, the top book is design pattern. So whatever the last entry in the stack, that is on the top, right? So peak method always fetch data of last entry, or whatever the data inside the top, it will fetch only that information only. Okay. Okay, we can say like we added like A, B, C, D, and E. So peak is this. Peak always fetch the last entry or the top entry in the stack. Yeah. Okay. And the next one is we have pop. Pop is again basically it will fetch the last entry from the collection. It will also fetch E, but when you call pop, it will remove that entry from the stack as well. Pop is basically doing the two operations. It's fetch that information and remove that information from the collection. Okay, like I'm like said removed book.pop. So I'm not passing any name of particular book or index or any key or something. I'm just saying pop. So it will see the last entry, that is E. It will pop and means to say it will remove this entry, and the stack will be like this on now. A, B, C, D. So when in this case, this is let's say S1, stack S1. After pop, the new S1 is this. So when you call the peak method, it will provide you D as output. Again, if you said S1 dot pop, it means to say again we are removing the last entry from the or the latest I mean the top level entry of the stack, we are removing it. Okay, so here like we call two time pop and pop. So the last entries are design pattern and algorithm. Okay, so it removes design pattern and algorithm from the stack, and the pending again I'm just displaying in the loop. So that is data structure and C# programming. Okay, so this is the concept of stack. So here the key feature is like when you are using pop, it will fetch and remove the element from the collection as well. Okay. Okay. Any query in stack collection?
No.
Okay, fine. Nice. So the next one we have queue. Okay. So stack is something like stacking the element. Queue is like it's again simple. Let me very similar to the stack, but the behavior is totally different. So behavior is FIFO, first in, first out. Okay, so it's like let's say we are like in queue of any counter, any food counter. So who's ever like in the queue is on the first, it will like the attender will serve first, right? The same is in the queue as well. So whatever the entries we are like creating in the queue. So let's say we add Alec, Bob, Charlie, and David in this sequence. When I fetch this information, Alec will be the first person. Okay. Okay. So this is again belongs to collection dot generic namespace. So we need to provide the data type. So what type of data we want to maintain in the queue, and to add the data in queue we use enqueue, and to remove or fetch the information we use dequeue. Okay, this is again we are removing basically. Dequeue is similar to pop as stack. Okay, here we also have a peek method. It will return me the first entry first entry of the queue. Okay. Okay, it's similar to stack, but with behavioral change is first in, first out. Okay. So here you can see we added in this sequence Alec, Bob, Charlie. Then in for loop we are like fetching one by one element. So the sequence is same as we added Alec, Bob, Charlie, and David. And here like we using peek method, it will return me the very first element or element in the front in the queue. So that is Alec. So that is it's return me Alec. Then we are using dequeue. Dequeue is basically we removing the element from the queue, right? Means to say we serve that or we process that data and we want to remove that information from queue. So here we remove two elements. One is Alec and second is Bob. And after removing, again we are like printing the list. So here you can see served Alec and Bob. Then the rest list is Charlie and David. Simple. Okay. So these are like we have covered the collection framework. So if you have any query in collection framework, just let me know. We can discuss. Okay.
No, not any.
Okay, sure. So you can do the practice if you find any issue, or if you are not clear with any concept, just let me know. We can discuss in detail again.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we are done with collection framework now. Okay, so the next topic is that is, let me remove this, abstract class and interface. Abstract class or interface. Okay, so both are like, when you are like doing like working in a project, you are going to use interfaces and abstract classes as well. Okay, so abstract classes contain abstract method. Plus non-abstract method as well. Okay, interface only contain abstract method. Okay, method or properties, anything. Okay, non-abstract method are like simple method. We can say the method with the body part, that is non-abstract method. Abstract method is method only having a declaration without body part. Means to say that we just declare the method. The implementation will be in the like who inherit this abstract class. Okay, and interfaces are like we use to define, the structure for the class. So any required method supposed to be exist in the in the class, then we first we create, the interface, and then we inherit that interface in particular class. Let's say we are designing, let's say, any banking application. So we want to, to user, we want to provide some features like they can check the balance, right? They can perform any transaction, right? They can add beneficiaries, right? So first, what we can directly we can declare these three operations first inside the interface. Then interface we can inherit in particular class. Let's say this class is supposed to be a customer class. So this customer class will, let's say this is the interface name is iBank, inherit iBank. So in this way, we restrict it, or we force the customer class supposed to have these three methods. Customer class may have 5, 6, 7, any number of any methods, but it's supposed to be three methods supposed to be there inside the customer class. If customer do not have add beneficiary functionality or a method, this class will not get compiled or not get executed. So we basically force it. Customer supposed to have this implementation of of these three methods. Okay, let's create first one example of interface, then we'll come back on this abstract class. Okay, let me create a new project. Okay. Okay, I have like created one service folder. So I want to provide some services. So first I like create one interface. Okay, I customer. Okay, so this is interface supposed to be, like if we're like creating class, then we use class keyword. For interface we use interface keyword. So here like I start this interface name with I, so it is not mandatory, but it is like we can say the best practice is when you are writing an interface, the name supposed to be start with capital I, so it is easy to identify it's a class or it's a interface. Okay, so this customer interface, let's say having two or three, I just want to declare a methods. Let's say void add customer. Okay, and okay, let me create one model here as well. Model or data. So this will be a class, let's say customer class. So this customer having like some properties like name, ID, and okay, let's say address. So while adding a customer, we're supposed to pass this customer class in parameter. Okay, and we can say list of customer, view all customers. All customers. Okay, so in interface I define two methods. So here you can see this is only the declaration part without any body. So this method is called abstract methods. Okay, this method is called abstract methods. So you cannot create non-abstract method inside interface. Okay, now I'm going to create customer service interface class. Let me rename it as customer service. Customer service. So here you can see, okay, let me rename this file name as well. So here you can see we have one I customer service, and second one we have only customer service. So just with this capital I we can differentiate which file is interface or which one is class. Okay, So now I'm going to inherit this I customer service interface. Okay. So see the red line, it's saying customer service do not implement interface member, which one? Add customer and view customer. So when we inherit this interface, so now system is forcing me or forcing customer service class to implement these two methods. If we do not implement this method, then customer service class will not be, not be in complete state. Okay, let's implement it. Just you need to click and say implement interface. Okay, so it will give you like the default implementation with the default some code. We can remove it. We can say we can design here like a custom logic here. Okay, I'm creating here a list of customer list. I'm creating a constructor customer service, and inside this customer service constructor I'm just going to initialize this underscore list customer list variable. Okay, in add customer I'm just going to just simply add the customer dot add this. So when we call add customer and pass the customer information, it will get inserted in underscore customer list. Okay, and to view we can say return underscore customer list. That's it. So whatever the data inside the list, maybe 10 records, 20 record, it will return me all the list. Let's give me error. Okay, semicolon. Okay, so we are like done with implementing two methods. Okay, let's say I'm creating one more method, void or say find customer by ID. Find customer by ID. So I will pass ID here. Okay, so this method we do not define inside the interface, but we are creating one extra method inside the class. So system will not restrict this. You cannot create extra methods. We can create, but system will like force me to implement whatever we define inside the interface. So that's supposed to be in class. If we miss any method, then it say okay, you're supposed to implement that method. Okay, so I want to return was, can say single customer. We can say return, we have underscore customer list dot, we can say find ID is this. Okay, so it will return me a customer. So this is basically a link queue expression. So basically we are using link queue here using it's we define ID. Yeah, yes, we have ID. So whatever the ID we pass inside the find customer by ID method, it will find the ID, capital I and D, inside all customer list. So it will return me the matching record. So then we can print that as well. Okay, so like we are like ready with customer service class. let's call this from main class. Okay. So here I'm just, okay. Customer service, customers, customer service dot add customer. I want to add a customer. I'm saying I'm adding 3 customers inside the data. Yes. Okay. So we add 5 customers. Okay, then I want to first, you know, we want to view all the customers. Okay, so this will return me again a collection. I want to do this inside a method, not directly here. Let's say we design a function display, or say show all customers. Okay. 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 So when we call this view customers, so it will basically return me the list, right? So again, I'm create a new list of customers, and it will store inside this customers. And we can display all the customers here. Customer dot ID. Okay, let me expression. Address. Okay, uh, we are ready now. Okay, let's say see. So we have like list of customer here. So this is coming from view customer. So view customer is implemented here, and but it is declared inside this customer service view customer. Okay. Okay. We also create one method, extra method, that is find customer ID, customer by ID. Let's call it here. Search customer. So customer equals cust equals customer service dot find by ID. Let's say I'm saying ID is 3. So we can display the customer here. Okay. And last we can say obj dot search customer. So here you can see the ID 3. Last one is basically coming from search customer method. Okay. First 5 is that is displayed inside the loop, and the last 3 is basically the output come from search customer method. Okay. All right. Okay. So this is one scenario. Uh, we create a customer, then we add, I mean, declare some methods, that is abstract method, and then we implement this interface inside our in customer service class. Okay. So let's say, like if we discuss the inheritance concept in C sharp. So inheritance, there are like, type of inheritance. Single level inheritance, multi-level inheritance. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have like single level inheritance, multi-level inheritance. Okay. Single level is like when we have one class C1, we inherit C1 inside C2. This is single inheritance. Multi-level inheritance is like something we have C3 as well. C1 feature we are inheriting C2, then C2 get inherited in C3, right? We have multiple inheritance as well. Like we have C1, C2, and C3 class. There is one C4. We want to inherit this C1, C2, and C3 inside C4. So this is called multiple inheritance. So we are inheriting multiple classes inside single class. So basically this inheritance with classes is not possible. We cannot inherit multiple classes inside one class. Okay. So, so solution for this type of inheritance, if we want to achieve, that is interface. What we can do, we can create C1 as interface, C2 as interface, C3 as interface. Multiple interface can inherit inside single class. Okay, because if all the C1, 2, 3, C1, 2, and 3 are all classes, let's say this method, this class having add function, C3 is also having add function. So both had get inherited inside the C4. So C4 having excess of two add methods. So this add is doing some logic, performing some logic, and this add is performing some other logic. If I'm saying C4 dot add, so which add will get execute? The system get confused. The two add is getting inherited from multiple classes, right? So it will throw an exception. We cannot inherit multiple classes inside single class. It create the ambiguities. Okay, so when we perform this with interfaces, let's say same scenario, this in C1 interface having add method, C3 also having add method, and both are like get inherited in C4 class, right? But in case of interfaces, we do not have any implementation. We only have declaration part. So in C4, we supposed to provide implementation of add method. Means a body part, we supposed to provide body part. So now, so actual main logic is inside C4. So system, when we are saying C4 dot add, it will call this C4. Okay.
Mm.
Okay, clear this thing?
Mm.
Okay. And with interface, we also perform interface casting as well. Interface casting as well. Okay, what is interface casting? Let's say now this uh, C4 having C1, C2, C3, you know, getting inherited from C1, 2, and 3, and I just want to access method of C2 only. What we can do, let's say we say any object obj equals, I say I C2 the of C4. C4 having access of C1, 2, and 3. Now I'm creating new object, but I want to give access of only C2 interface method to new object. I do not want to give access of C1 or C2 methods. Then we can perform casting with interface as well. Means it will provide the access of method whatever they define inside the C2 interface. When I say, let's say C2 is having A method, B method, and C method. C1 class having D, E, and F, and this is having G, H, and I. When I say object of C4, C4 can access any this A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and I, G, H, I. Okay. When I said C4 casted by any particular interface and it assigned to object, then this object only can access method of C2 means A, B, and C. Okay. It's like defining the scope. Okay, let me give one more example with hierarchy inheritance or hierarchy structure. Okay, so this is, let's say we have user. Okay, user can create user and view user. Okay, simple user. Then we have this is, let's say, manager. Okay, manager can create, view and delete user. So manager inherit the user class. So we can say manager inherit user. Okay, then finally we have admin. Okay, admin can create the user, view the user, remove the user, and search the user as well. Let's say search. We have like search by ID, and we can say disable the user as well, not remove, temporarily disable the user. Okay, this is the some extra privilege admin has. So admin will inherit manager. Okay, so this is, we can say, uh, the structure. So if I want to achieve this thing, how I can achieve this? So this is, we can say, the structure we want to design inside the program. So what we do, we use uh, interface objects, interface concept. Let's say I generate one interface. Let's say search interface. Search interface will have these two methods. Okay, let's say not disable, search by name or search by ID. Search by name. Okay, I define interface. I interface search by name, search by ID. Okay, then again I have designed one interface I remove. So this interface have remove method only. Then create interface. So this having create and view. Okay, so now user will, simple user class will inherit this I interface. Okay, manager class will inherit I interface plus remove interface, or even manager can directly inherit user interface, because the implementation, if the implementation is same, means the same in implementation is same, there is no difference. Whatever like we write for create and view is same for manager. We do not need to inherit this I interface in manager. We can directly inherit this class, user class, plus we need to inherit this I remove interface inside manager class. And same with the manager, sorry, admin. This is admin. So admin inherit this manager class plus this I interface. Okay, so this will be the interface and class structure. Okay, so let's
Mm.
say we have one, there is one user, so they want access of, we can say, I want to extra user or special user. Okay, I want to give access of it, act as admin, but with limited access. Admin can perform any operation now: create, view, remove, search by name, search by ID. But I want to give this user access only to view, create and view, and search by name and search by ID. I don't want to give remove access, but it is inherited by admin only, right? Are you getting my point?
Yeah.
Okay. So in this scenario, we need to perform casting, interface casting. When we when we want to provide access, we can cast these two interface only. I create interface or I search interface. So it will only access these two, these four method, not the remove one. So this is done by the interface casting. Okay. So I'll explain you, provide you the demo, I mean the working code, how we can perform the casting, interface casting with some piece of code. So, but in tomorrow's sessions.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll continue from here only. So how we can perform the interface casting and all. Okay. And I just want to confirm, are you like available on Sat weekend as well?
What? Can you?
Yeah.
Are you,
Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah.
are you both available on weekends as well?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. So basically I'm planning to take class on weekend as well, because last 2 3 days like we do not have any class, so we can cover up on weekend, Saturday or
Okay.
Sunday. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
plan is we can continue the session on Saturday and Sunday, but if there is any change, I'll update you on I mean on Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, Vivek. Okay, Diksha. We'll continue with tomorrow. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Bye.